local.
International communities observing every
Just finished taking
Where the main market is in chaos. People are...
We are national.
Those in support of this motion as amended, say aye.
Aye. We have taken the vote by default.
We are international.
Israeli airstrikes.
Donald Trump left us the worst unemployment.
Signature TV, news in your pocket.
Welcome back. Now, Enugu's political landscape has been shaken by Governor Peter Mba'S' defection from the PDP to the APC, and this has sparked up a lot of conversations around it. And so now we're going to examine Governor Peter Mba'S' defection matters arising with Barrister Chukwunonso Obe, a legal practitioner. Good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning. It's my pleasure.
Good morning.
Now, many Nigerians have a lot of opinions around Peter Mba'S' defection. Some say it's a case of political survival. I'd like to know, what is your own opinion about his defection to the APC?
While approaching the issue from a legal perspective, I think there's nothing wrong with what the governor has done, because the Nigerian constitution is silent on the legal consequences that will accrue from the act of a governor of a state or a president, as the case may be, defecting from the political party under which platform he was elected to another political party. With regard to lawmakers, some legal consequences are bound to accrue from any act of a lawmaker defecting from a political platform under which he was elected. But as I noted earlier, that's not the case with those who occupy executive positions in Nigeria. So legally speaking, there's nothing wrong with what the governor has done. And I also know as a fact there are some circumstances, permissible circumstances, in which even lawmakers can defect from their political party to other political platforms in achieving their political aspirations. Having said that, the right of the governor to move into the All Progressives Congress is a democratically and constitutionally guaranteed right of his, which has to do with the right to freedom of association. So he has the right to identify with the APC as a political party in achieving his political aspiration. Having said that, in my opinion, I think what the governor did amounts to what I would refer to as a political betrayal, because in this part of the country, I know that many of our people, they identify with political parties beyond the pedigree of any candidate being presented by a given political party. And from my own personal observation, I've been in this state for a very long time, and I'm able to say that for reasons best known to a vast majority of Enugu people, many people here in Enugu are not comfortable with the APC as a political party. Because going by what transpired in the last general election, I know that the APC, for instance, presented some credible candidates, or prima facie credible candidates, who vie for some political offices in the last general election, yet from public discourse, from opinions expressed by some people in Enugu State, especially those who are politically inclined, they made it known that, look, you may be a good candidate, but because of this political platform, we will not support you. So in a nutshell, in as much as the governor has the right to identify with any political party of his choice, but I think identifying with the APC, to the best of my knowledge, amounts to political betrayal, and many people are not happy and comfortable with that development because of the history of APC with the people of the Southeast geopolitical zone. I know that before now, there are other states in the Southeast which are being governed by the APC, states like Ebonyi State and Imo State. But you should know that Enugu State occupies a very sensitive position in the Southeast geopolitical zone. Enugu State is unofficially regarded as the capital of Igbo land. So handing over APC, handing over the capital of Igbo land to the ruling All Progressives Congress is as good as one of our own betraying the Igbo cause. That's the way many people regard this development, view this development that just played out some hours ago in Enugu State. They view it as amounting to a case of political betrayal by the governor of the state. But so if he had come to any other political party, if he had defected to any other political party, not being APC, many people wouldn't have had much reservations with what the governor did.
But do you think this could affect his coming back in 2027 during the next election?
It is left for the people to decide. I cannot stay here this morning and tell you that automatically that he's moving over to the APC will pose any stumbling block. But if I should be sincere with you, what I have to say is that many people who are familiar with the governor will no longer support him come 2027, including some of those who went to Barra Square yesterday. Politics is a very interesting game. Many people are there shouting for him that they are with him. They're actually not with him. They are with him physically, but in the true sense of it, they are not with him. So I see an interesting political outing in the Enugu State come 2027. Even if he's going to scale through, it will be an easy battle because some persons believe that he also identified with the center so that he will enjoy what we refer to as federal might. But you should appreciate the fact that every politics is local. And even if you want to do anything fun in any given election, you may not have your way if a vast majority of the citizens are against you. Just like what happened in Imo State under the watch of former Governor Ikedio Hakim, when an allegation was raised that some of his aides battered a religious leader, even though it turned out to be that allegation was false. But immediately that sentiment sprang up in Imo State. The people of Imo State rejected Hakim, despite the fact that Hakim was a very strong governor. So the governor of this state, Enugu State, may have made a very big mistake. And with due respect to him, he believes he's a strong man. He believes he's that you cannot talk to. He believes that he always have his way. There is this perception that Enugu people are docile. But you should know that even a goat, when you push a goat to the wall, the goat will kick back. So if he believes that Enugu people are docile, I wish him the best of luck. But let me advise him, he should go and prepare for a very strong battle in 2027. The Abuja will not save him. Mark today's statements. Abuja will not save the governor of this state. So let him go and prepare whatever arsenal. Let him go and get everything ready, the armed forces, everything. The people's will prevail in 2027 in this state. If a vast majority of Enugu people want him, he will come back. If a vast majority of our people do not want him, no matter whoever is backing him up, he will fail and he will fail woefully, and nothing will happen. He's not the first governor that has been defeated, and he may not be the last if he will be defeated. But if he's thinking because he has aligned with the center, then that it's a fiat accompli. I can tell him that even this step he has taken has even worsened his perception in the eyes of the public. Because as far as I'm concerned, his policies are very harsh, insensitive, inhuman. He's governing as if we don't have people here. People are crying. There's anguish in the land. There's frustration. Some days back, a report was released about Enugu State that the IGR of Enugu State is the fourth in the country. Many people will be clapping without considering the implication. The implication is this. Population-wise, Kano is more populated than Enugu. So assuming we have, let's say, 3 million people in Enugu State, and you have 9 million people in Kano State, and now the IGR of Enugu is above that of Kano. What it means that whatever the people of Kano is coughing out from their pockets, Kano people are coughing out from their pockets, we are giving to the government, that we in Enugu are paying times 3. Secondly, ask yourself, you're talking about IGR, what do we produce in Enugu? Because one of the philosophies behind the tax and the revenue generation is that people should produce in order to pay. Now, if you have a situation whereby Enugu is basically known to be a civil service state, Enugu is not known to be an industrial hub, and then we are not paying higher than most states that are deemed to be economically viable. It simply means that people are under the heavy weight of governance, and insensitive government is in power as far as I'm concerned, and he has also now identified. In fact, what happened in Enugu State yesterday is a blessing in disguise for Enugu people, because it will hasten the defeat of Governor Mba'S come 2027. Assuming he remained in the PDP, some people may be sympathetic to his cause, some people may forgive him. But in addition to his insensitive administration, he has now decided to pitch tent with the party that many people in Enugu State are not comfortable with. So I wish him the very best. But let me understand that even if he's a stubborn man, he's not the least stubborn man in town. No matter how stubborn you are, if you're a stubborn man, you have 10 stubborn men to contend with you. And in our local parlance, he said that so we will not talk much. Let's sit back and wait and see how everything plays out in Enugu. But let him go and prepare for a very strong outing in 2027. Even if he will scale through, I bet you after fighting, he will go inside the house and find himself, because he's going to meet a very fierce resistance come 2027. No matter his plans, no matter those he's banking on, no matter the federal might, we will use state might against him. We will use the people's might against Governor Mba'S in this state. Even because his policies are even affecting me as a person. So rest assured that as he's preparing for federal might, we in Enugu State, we are going to use state might against him. And we will tell him that he's a son of Enugu State and he cannot override us. He cannot intimidate all of us. It is not possible. He's from Enugu, and from Enugu, we will wait for him. Fire for fire, action for action. Any way he goes about it, anything he brings in Enugu, we face him. And the will of the people will prevail. So anybody trying to do anything funny in Enugu, Mark my word today, come 2027, the votes will count. Whoever wins, if he wins, good, he'll go his way. If he doesn't win, he will get out of office. So if he's planning to do anything for the federal might, we will use the state might, the people's might, and resist him. That's what will happen in 2027. So any party he wants to join, he's free. That's his constitutional right. He has the right to identify with any party of his choice. The people will also do their own. Come 2027, the people will say, Peter Mba'S, we want you or we don't want you. If we say we don't want you by majority vote, he will go. He's not the first that has been sacked, and he will not be the last if he will be sacked. As simple as that.
All right. Now, what does this actually mean for PDP in Enugu and in the Southeast, saying that they no longer have any grip on any state in the Southeast region?
Anyway, what you shall appreciate about party politics is that you cannot rule out any political party, no matter how inconsequential the party may seem to appear. Just like what happened in 2023. Nobody saw the labor wave taking place in this environment. So obviously the PDP is contending with many challenges. Some of these challenges are occasioned by the miscalculations of the PDP as a political party. Because I think one of the major challenges that before the PDP has to do with the issue of zoning, not zoning the presidency. To the southeast, I'm not saying the south, to the southeast. The likes of Yeso Wike will come out to tell us that Alhaji Atiku Abubakar betrayed the zoning formula. That's the highest echelon of hypocrisy. Because if you're talking about zoning the presidency to the south, it should be to the southeast. Because our father, Chief Obasanjo, is from the southwest, he has governed. Our father, Goodluck Jonathan, is from the south side, he has governed. So if you're talking about equity and fairness, the presidency should have zoned to the southeast. So the likes of Yeso Wike coming out to tell us that Atiku did this and did that, he's also complicit in the brazen insult meted out of the people of the southeast. Having said that, I cannot rule out the PDP. Now let me ask you a question. Assuming something happens tomorrow, and someone like Peter Obi returns to the PDP and flies the PDP presidential flag, what do you think will happen? Even if it doesn't win at the national level, rest assured that PDP will reclaim many states in this part of the country. So this is politics. Let's keep our gunpowder dry. You never can tell what will happen. So PDP is having issues, but don't rule out the party. And I can tell you, mark my word today, PDP is coming back to Enugu State. Presently, I'm not a member of the PDP. Presently, I'm not a member of the PDP is coming back to Enugu State because whether I like it or not, for a very long time I have fought the PDP. Whether we like it or not, at least PDP has strong structures in Enugu. I am not saying that PDP has won all the elections here in Enugu State. In fact, in the last political out in 2023, if you ask me, I believe that the Labour Party governorship candidate, I strongly believe that he actually won the election. But the issue of structure also plays a vital role in this political outing. So as far as Nigeria is concerned, at least you will not deny the fact that PDP has structures across the entire world. In Nigeria, we may have candidates who are popular, but their political platform may not give them that enabling environment to try politically. So having said that, also know that not all PDP members in Enugu State are part of what transpired yesterday. There are those who are openly against the move made by the governor. There are those who are not with him. I know some top figures in this state. They are mute as I speak, but I know their silence is not ordinary. They are waiting for the right time. At the right time, they will speak. The governor made his speech yesterday. Come 2027, some people will also make their own speech. There will still be another second version of that speech. Another one will still be made when the people will speak. So don't rule out the PDP yet, as far as Enugu State is concerned. I don't know for that place, but this state, there's this affiliation, there's this love many people have for PDP. It's like it's a culture, it's a custom here. That is the reality. So if not for the obedient wave of 2023, ordinarily it's usually PDP and others in Enugu State. So, but it's an interesting development. In fact, I congratulate Governor Mba'S for what he did by moving over to the APC because he has made the work of the opposition in Enugu State easier. When you marry his harsh policies with what he just did, he has to a great extent reduced his chances of coming back to government. So he's doing a very good work. Let him continue. Let him change gear from what he's let him do more so that it will make his defeat easy come 2027.
All right. Now, one of the reasons that Governor Mba'S gave for his move is that the voice of Enugu and Southeast will now be better heard in Abuja. Now, what do you make of that statement? Does it mean that the Southeast voice cannot be heard without a defection to the ruling party? And does that also mean that we're moving to a one-party system of governance?
One of the mistakes you can make as a man is trying to believe that that maybe you are smarter than others. No matter how intelligent you may be, you may meet those who are more intelligent than you are. With due respect to the governor, The way he spoke yesterday, I listened to some. I'm on my way to a particular place when I listened to him when he addressed the state. Don't think you are talking to those who are not smart, even though you may be the governor of the state. Now the question is this: before now, the governors of Ebonyi and Imo states, they've been in the APC. Does it mean they incurred any advantage above Enugu state by virtue of their being members of the APC? If you want to defect, it's your right to do that. They're not telling us that the voice of Enugu will be heard. We don't need to be heard in Abuja. I repeat, as far as I'm concerned, we don't need to be heard. If you want to be heard, go and put your house in order. If you govern well in your state, you will be heard. Because as far as the Nigerian political workings is concerned, rather, it is his interest that it will not be heard in Abuja, not Enugu interest. His personal interest is what will not be heard in Abuja. So when Governor Jim was the governor of Old Anambra State, he was in the opposition. His voice was heard. The voice of the people of Old Anambra State was heard here in Anambra State. Because Nigeria, there is this level of injustice being perpetrated in the Nigerian environment. So the governor telling us that it's for our voice to be heard is an indirect insult. Because you are trying to project your selfish interest and you are trying to subsume that under the ambit of trying to protect or project the interest of Enugu people. It's not true. Tell us you want to defect to the, and you have defected to the APC in order to protect your own political interest. Understandable, that's excellent. They're telling us that you want our, we don't, Abuja has not protected our interest, both under the PDP and under the APC presently. As I speak, Abuja has not protected the interest of the Igbo people as expected. There is still perceived injustice in the land. In as much as I also know as a fact that even we, the Igbo people, we have also dealt with ourselves to a great extent as well. Even our leaders here in the South East political zone. But Ebonyi State and Imo State, these two states should serve as templates. What have they done differently? Do we have monorails in these states? Do we have strong federal presence in these states beyond what is obtainable in Enugu State? We are now defecting to the APC. We now make President Tinubu to now start governing Enugu State directly. You still remain the governor of the state. You will need to ordinarily change your policies. The way you have been handling Enugu people, does it have to do with the activities of the federal? The answer is no. Your harsh policies are being executed by your government. So rather, what I even foresee that may happen is that now that he has joined the ruling party at the center, he now enjoys more state influence that he can now do to a great extent whatever he believes he can do, and nobody will challenge him for now. But in due course, we are going to speak in Enugu. Personally, I will speak when the time comes. For now, to a great extent, I'm more interested in my profession for now. When the time comes, we will come back. We will tell him that we all are not fools in this state. You have a governor that is grossly insensitive. During the last general conference of the bar here, members of the enforcement team of the MOT, they were withdrawn from Enugu roads. Why? Because these young men and women who have been employed to be enforcing so-called traffic laws, who have now been constituted to operate as revenue-generating agencies, they are doing their work in a high-handed manner, and that's why the government today withdrew them from the roads. Immediately lawyers left Enugu, they unleashed them on the people again. So they know what is going on in Enugu. They know they are terrorizing the people. When you govern the people, you should show some modicum of empathy. Even in a state like in a nation like the United States, the bastion of democracy and capitalism, after the U.S. economy was disorganized, sequel to the invasion of Iraq by U.S., when Obama took over, the first thing he did, he tried to revitalize the economy. He didn't go about imposing tax laws or enforcing tax laws. There are tax laws in the United States. Rather, crippled businesses were built. Because you have to build first before you demand from the people, because there is frustration in the land. Now we have a government, you are even backdating areas of taxes to be paid. I am not saying taxes should not be paid, but you should exhibit empathy towards the people you are governing. There is hyperinflation in the land. There is frustration in Nigeria. Many people are dying. And you have a governor that feels he's stubborn. I am an Nkano man like the governor. We'll be telling you we have stubborn people. We, the Nkano people, we are inherently stubborn. So when the time comes, because what he's doing cuts across board everywhere, people are lamenting, and he believes he's a strong man. We'll be showing that in Nkano land we have strong men. He's not the least strong man in Nkano land. He's an Nkano man, I'm an Nkano man. And from Amechu, when the time comes, we will tell Governor Peter Mba'S in this state that the pains he unleashed on the people of this state, he will not get away with it. He won't. We are waiting for him. We are waiting for him. Just mark today's statement. We are waiting for him. Because if you're a governor and people are lamenting, you should sit back and at least ameliorate issue to bend backwards. But when people are crying, and you behave, you don't talk, you feel like a hard man, you keep quiet, you are doing what you are doing, no problem. We also keep quiet. I'm the one talking. There are those who are keeping quiet, waiting for you. When the time comes, those people, they will not speak, and they will not have sympathy. They will so much reject you, and they will vehemently reject you, and that's when the people will now laugh, because he will last, as it is said. So there is anguish in the land. So let him protect his interest. It is right to do that. But telling us it's not the interest of Enugu people. If you have a governor that can protect our interest, it suffices for us. Nigeria is the federal nation. Yes, Abuja is there. It is the duty of the governor, who from official or presumably should be from a state, to protect the interest of the people of the state. But when you have a governor that is grossly insensitive and people are crying, and you are telling us that Abuja wants to protect, we are protecting your interest. And we will also protect our interest. And our interests are right to survive. Because you are pushing us to the wall. There is frustration everywhere. Even we lawyers now, we are now at the center receiving the missiles. Because your policies on housing is now making landlords to be reacting. And tenants are now on the heads of both lawyers. Tenants are head of lawyers, landlords are head of lawyers. Lawyers are at the center receiving the entire missiles. And we are feigning ignorance of what is playing out. We know, he knows what is happening in Enugu state. The MOT example is a very good example that he knows what is going on in this state. If not, why did you withdraw MOT officials from Enugu roads when lawyers came to Enugu? If they are doing a wonderful work, that was when they were supposed to act very well. You withdrew them. Why? You are aware of what they are doing in the state. You believe they left, you brought them back. No problem. He's having his turn. But come 2027, mark my word, Enugu will witness, unlike what happened in 2023 is a child's play. You will meet fierce resistance in Enugu state. And unfortunately for him, even the Nkano people, forget about all these endorsements. Don't mind those who are endorsing. Say, no problem. I'm an Nkano man. When the time comes, even those who are supposed to back him up, you find out that he's alone. He's on his own. Unless he repents, which I know he will not repent. He believes he's a strong man. He will not repent, but we will teach him that we are Nkano people, just as he is.
All right, now let's take a step back. Now, before the defection was formal, the APC National Working Committee had dissolved the Enugu State APC Executive Committee and replaced it with, a 7-man caretaker committee led by Dr. Ben Ngoyi. Now, constitutionally, is that right? Overthrowing Enugu State Executive Committee and bringing a National Working Committee, because there have been, a pushback, especially from Mwamala.
Anyway, the point is that's the internal business of the APC. I am not a member of the APC. I may become one tomorrow, but for now, I don't have any intention of joining APC now. And in law, even a court of law does not have the powers to meddle in the internal affairs of a political party. I know there may be an exception to this general rule when the activities of the political party is at variance with the provisions of the constitution of that political party. Then to a great extent, a court of law may intervene. So having said that, the members of the APC, they are the ones adversely affected by the decision of the National Working Committee of the APC. So those who feel aggrieved, Barrister Gochua Bala, he's a lawyer. So if he feels aggrieved, we have our courts. As they will always tell us we should go to court, so they should also go to court to seek a redress for whatever perceived there. So it's the business of APC. So it's a family affair. I will not cry more than the bereaved. I am crying about the Enugu State, not about the APC.
All right.
So otherwise, I'll become a mere busybody, a meddlesome interloper, which I don't want to be this morning. So the one that concerns me, I will talk about. So for now, it's APC business. So they will sort themselves out. All
right. Before now, she actually asked you if about your thoughts on one-party system, and also your thoughts on Muslim tickets come 2027.
Yes, with regard to the issue of Muslim tickets, we do respect. I appreciate the sentiments of those who are not comfortable with that. But even once upon a time in this country, when the presumed winner of the June 12th election, Chief MK Abiola, vied for the highest office of the land, his running mate was also a Muslim. The vast majority of the Nigerian people voted him. I think the fears expressed about the Muslim tickets has to do with the antecedents of the former President Muhammadu Buhari. The way he ran an exclusionist government, he didn't run an all-inclusive government when he was in charge. So it is for the Nigerian people to decide as far as the issue of Muslim ticket is concerned. In as much as I also believe that in a nation like Nigeria, where we have diverse ethnic and religious components, that you should at least try to marry this multifaceted interest by carrying the various segments of the nation along in the interest of societal cohesion and national unity. So it's advisable that any political party that is coming forward should at least accommodate the various segments of the Nigerian society. But under the watch of President Tinubu, I give it to him in that regard. The Muslim ticket sentiment or the Muslim political existence in place has not actually played out to a very great extent. The president has been able to carry the entire country along. The economic hardship is cutting across the entire country. No one is spared. Both Muslims and Christians. They are all even traditional. That's another. Those ones are even being discriminated against. African traditional religious worshippers. They should also be carried along. So maybe time shall come if the president is a Christian, the vice will be a Muslim, then the senior president should be a member of the African traditional religion, and then an atheist will now be the Speaker House of Reps, so that you carry the entire country along.
Barrister, what about the one-party system? Are we seeing Nigeria moving to?
We can never have a one-party system in Nigeria. Even if they all join the same party, then it will not be that party versus the Nigerian people. As I said, Nigerians are waiting for whoever. Any party you want to join. If you want to join one party, no problem. You are talking about rigging. There's one issue, Before you rig an election, there's a foundation that will be in existence before you rig. So assuming you are governing and maybe 60% of people are not with you, you can manage and use that 40 pass mark and have your way at the end of the day. But when, let's say, 80% of the populace are against you, even the soldiers you want to use, when the protests start, they will tell you, okay, we're not going to shoot everybody, die you. They will, like what is happening in Madagascar. Like what happened in Imo State during the Hakim era. They brought out soldiers, but boys said no. And soldiers had to protect them. Soldiers are human beings because they normally bank on these soldiers to come and start shooting, or policemen to come and start shooting people. But there's a stage it gets to when the people are fed up. They will tell you no when the people are ready to die. And when they come out en masse and tell you no, they will resist you. And you will comply. So if you like, continue joining any party you want to join, it's your right. When the time comes to be two political parties, official party, the party you join, unofficial party, the Nigerian people, with their votes, they will now wait, cast their votes, defend it, and have their way. And there's nothing you can do about it.
Well, all right. Barrister Chukwunoso, I think this is where we'll end that conversation. Thank you so much for coming to the studio.
My pleasure.
Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
My pleasure.
Well, regardless, defection or no defection, Nigerians must survive. And that is where we come to the end of that conversation about Peter Mba'S defection. Thank you for joining us. Do stay with us because after now, Signature Morning continues.
With a population of about 36 million people, the Southeast is awash with stories. Every day on Southeast News, we tell the peculiar story of the Southeast and her people.
Our Southeast should be the Silicon Valley of Nigeria.
Their successes, achievements, and daily challenges. Do you have a Southeast story to share? Community achievements and challenges, completed and uncompleted projects, bad roads, water scarcity, erosion, flooding, insecurity, or even disagreements? Bring it on to Southeast News. On Southeast News, no story is too big or too small. Southeast News. Let's tell our story. Showing on Signature TV every weekday at 4 p.m. WAT, 1600 hours GMT.
Every second, every minute, every day, news is breaking. Events occur and there are new developments. At Signature TV, we follow these stories objectively, bringing all sides without bias, explaining the complex issues, breaking down the numbers, and investigating the issues behind the news. Anywhere and everywhere, near or far, wherever the news is, we will be there. Signature TV. News in your pocket.